messages privately as well as on the thing. So if you have anything, feel free to share it. Okay. All right, guys. So let's begin. My name is Bharati. Some of you I know, and some I'm seeing new names. No faces, videos are off, but new names, and that's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for coming in today. Today we're going to, like I mentioned, talk about and experience. So I'm going to divide this entire session into two parts. One, we're going to understand what is this intuition, how we can connect with it, how we can work with it. And then we are also going to do some exercise like a meditation to kind of tune into it and make it our daily practice so that we become tuned in with it. So that's the agenda for our session today for the next 1 hour. And just for those who've probably come in first time or who have not met before, my name is Bharati. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I also work with energy modalities like chakras and auric reading. I do Reiki. I do a whole lot of different energy modalities which can help us to kind of take charge and have power over our own energies. I enjoy doing trainings, corporate trainings. I work with children, especially with regards to emotional work, a lot of subconscious work through hypnotherapy. I do past life regressions and so on and so forth. So today, like I mentioned, all about intuition. And so I decided that no slides today. I'm just gonna talk to you very experientially about how I understand intuition, how I teach it to my clients in our regular one-to-one sessions or in my group training sessions. So I'm just gonna give you a very broad framework and tools that you can work with so that you can be more and more inclined to connecting with your inner voice. Okay, so just getting the chat screen up so that I make sure that anything is covered that you share with me. I'm going to discuss two main aspects like I mentioned. One, intuition. What exactly is our intuition? How can we tap into it? Physically, how do we understand it? Because we are physical beings, right? We are, of course, energetic beings, but physically we are more in tune with the physical body. The second part of the session is going to be, like I mentioned, experiencing at a chakra level, healing the energy of the third eye, connecting with the energy of the third eye. So I'm going to start with the most fundamental aspect, the essence of everything, which is our intuition, our inner voice, our gut instinct. Where does it all come from? So I'm going to start from absolute basic, which is we are all energy. And those of you who have attended other of my sessions or have worked with me would know that I emphasize this over and over and over again for the simple reason that every time we think of ourselves as energy, we tap into a different space and we understand it from different ways and depending on where we are at our energetic field, right? So we are all energy. We have chakras, we have an auric field. Each one of us has an auric field. Someone has a huge auric field if the energy is flowing really well. There are colors to it, which can actually be photographed thanks to technology. So we know we have these beautiful vibrations in and around us, which are constantly unfolding our reality depending on how we are flowing with them. So now, for those who are absolutely new, basic, I'm going to just brush over it because I want to dive right into the intuition aspect. Some fundamental principles of energy, which is that our, in energy, like attracts like, which basically means that all the thoughts that you have every moment of time, they are not just thoughts in the back of your mind. They are constantly vibrating frequencies. And these frequencies will create, because of your radiation of these frequencies into the environment through your auric field, into the bigger field, will create experiences for you. So like attracts like. Make a note of what kind of thoughts you have at all times. So journaling is the first thing that I always talk about. Please do that. For every action, there is equal opposite reaction. And we had done a workshop, we had done a webinar on karma just some time back, where I talked about this in great detail, that whatever energy you put out, it's not about the action. Whatever energy you put out, it will come back to you. So if I am putting out a negative energy towards a coworker or towards a relative or towards an experience, that same energy will come back to me. So very important to understand that whatever energy we will put out, it comes back to us. And the third most important thing is that energy can never ever be created or destroyed. It can only transform from one form to another, which means that your thoughts have to manifest. So if you have thoughts which are of a certain nature, the manifestation will reflect those thoughts. So very important to understand how this energy kind of works with us. Okay, so now let's understand. Now we know we have an aura, we know we have the chakras, and these chakras all have, specific personalities. We will be focusing on the sixth chakra today, which is our third eye chakra, the Anjana chakra. And I will take you through different understanding of this chakra, as well as tools how you can work with it. So the third eye chakra, I'm going to start from there, is related to higher intuition. It's related to vision. It's related to what we sometimes hear of as clairvoyance, okay, which comes from a very fully functional third eye chakra. This chakra is associated with our autonomic nervous system, with our pituitary, our pineal gland, and at a very energetic level, it is the center of psychic power, of energies, of high intuition, of light. Okay, it represents that vibration of the pranic force, which aligns our consciousness to being visionaries, to being implementers. Okay. At a very physical level, this third eye chakra, it addresses your pineal gland, it addresses your skull, the eyes, the brain, the nervous system, the senses, and it is all about insight and about visualization. So when this chakra is open, we realize that we can tap easily into our intuition. We are all intuitive. Each one of us is intuitive. Just like I said, we are energetic beings vibrating at different frequencies. So even our intuition and our ability to interpret those messages is different. Now, how do we know what exactly is our intuition? Okay, so intuition can be understood or interpreted by us as vibrations, sensations, emotions, even words, very strong messages. It's like your inner voice talking to you. So over my practice, or with my clients, when I work with them and I teach them tools in meditation for tuning into their intuition when they want to go on a self-development journey, a spiritual journey, right? One of the most common questions that I get is, how do we recognize the voice of our intuition, or the voice of our, the inner voice, amidst all that inner chatter, the chaos, the constant thoughts? So I'm going to share with you a few pointers that can help you to identify and to help you to become more aware of reconnecting with your inner voice. Okay, and I say reconnecting because each one of us has had a very strong and intense relationship link with this inner voice. But over a period of years on earth, this link, this connection, the sound of that voice, the ability to comprehend it, has probably just been submerged or got rusty, so to speak. So this voice now seems like a whisper now and then, rather than an ongoing companion at all times who is guiding you, and things like that. As children, as babies, we are super connected to this inner voice. And as the child begins to grow, and as growth and development happens for the child begins to feel that, oh, what my parents or what my friends or what my teachers are saying is perhaps right. because you must understand that intuition, inner voice, these come from a place of oneness. Living on earth in physical bodies is all about duality, right? So as we go through life, we go more and more into this duality, and we feel that the voice outside of us perhaps knows more than what I'm thinking. And this happens with kids as well. Okay, so that's how it goes. So coming back to intuition. Now, few pointers that I mentioned to you, right? So when we are born, we have the ability to be aware of multi-dimension, and as we grow, we become more and more zoned into third dimension. Okay, and this third dimension then highlights a lot into me, right? What is my identity? Who am I? What is it in for me? And psychologically speaking, we also understand this as ego. So the glorification, the separateness from the oneness to me, from oneness to, from oneness to separation, bringing in duality is what we understand as ego. So when we are confused, what is this voice of our inner being? We want to understand, is it the voice of ego, or is it the voice which is truly authentic, supreme power, which wants the best for us always in terms of our growth and evolution? Okay, so just a few pointers which could probably help you in your journey as you go along. So the voice of intuition, your inner voice, would typically reflect what is real in the moment, what is authentic. It's like the first thought that comes to you in a very patient, quiet way. Compare it to the voice of ego, it's more controlling. It can be very infused with perhaps fear. It can be very urgent, like now. It can be criticizing, okay? The voice of the intuition is usually not judgmental at all. So it does not judge. It feels more compassionate. It feels more accepting, which may not even feel logical, okay? Because it comes from a space of oneness. The voice of our ego, it tends to feed off comparison, superior, inferior. There is this thriving to be right all the time, to know all the time, wanting to be on top of it all the time. So that comes more from a place of ego. So just a few ideas as you reflect, as you meditate, as you become aware of your thoughts in different moments, notice the vibration between these two different voices or thoughts. And when I say inner voice, I don't only mean your ability to hear it. It could be a sense in the stomach. It could be a very strong knowing in your heart. It could be visions. It could be images. So everyone interprets it differently. Okay. Over a period of time, the ability to actually hear the voice, like actual words, sentences, sometimes even stories, gets really, really clear as you work with it. Now, the interesting thing is, you cannot fight the ego at all, because since we chose physical bodies, we are all supreme light, right? We are all source energy who have chosen to be in this third dimensional reality, going through a journey, going through learnings. And if I tell you right now that each one of us who are tuned in here actually chose to be here in 2020, you may laugh and say, like, come on, why would I choose that? But it's true. Somewhere, each one of us has chosen these different experiences. We have chosen this time to take birth, to be in the cities that we are, in the countries that we are, for higher purpose, for higher learning. So the ego will keep trying to logic it, make sense of it, justify it, but you cannot fight the ego. The only thing you can do to start tapping in more into your intuitive voice is to become very aware every time the ego takes over. Okay, and now that you are aware how the ego is to some extent, it will be easier for you to kind of connect on what is my inner voice and what is the voice of the ego. If you try to fight the ego gets stronger, because its job is to protect you. So it will keep making you feel like everything else does not make sense. So it will drag you into that separateness. the your job to connect more into that intuitive voice, into that intuitive space, is your ability to distinguish, to become aware. When you go into that space, your breath becomes short, you perhaps get more into fear mode, anxious mode, panic mode, you may get into comparison mode, critic mode. Okay, so these are all the adjectives I can think of that can help you to understand the difference between it. And your job is to consciously, slowly, over a period of time, shift the power of the voice of the ego to the voice of your inner self, which is more calm, which is more quiet right now, which is more in a space of oneness, which wants to make things work, which wants to make things, get better, understand, empathize, that space. So that will, and the more we do that over a period of time, this voice, which is perhaps embedded, which is submerged right now, will slowly start to get more and more visible to you through different subtle signs, forms, and things like that. And when you really, really tune into it, it will always be there for you to guide you, to inspire you, to help you visualize things better, perhaps even reach a space of clairvoyance, which is being aware of the multi dimensions at all time. It will help you strengthen your psychic abilities, and most important of all, enjoy the source energy that is constantly available to us at all times. Okay, so that's a little bit of understanding between the two voices there. I'm going to now go a little bit more into this center of intuition and understanding it, like how does this third eye really work. So this energy in the third eye is about our ability to see beyond the known. So physical reality likes to work with our five senses. It's very senses driven. But our intuition, it takes us on a journey beyond the five senses. So the conscious mind likes logic. It likes rational answers. But guidance tends to come from, you know, from synchronicities, from illogical forms, from things which do not absolutely feel practical. Okay, when you become more and more in tune with the third eye energy, it can give you guidance and light to understand patterns. Okay, it allows you to slowly move into a space where you can get over the blame game. When you get over the blame game, what's happening? You're again going back from separation, from duality back to oneness. And when the focus can go back to oneness, this energy starts to get more and more powerful. So it's like the more you invest in it, the stronger it gets, and the stronger it gets, the more you can make power out of it, take the power out of it. Okay, so it helps you to get out of those blame games. It helps you to take responsibility, take acceptance, and find more purpose on why you have chosen the experiences you have chosen in life. So everything will start to kind of, it's like a puzzle that comes into play. Okay, and you are able to fit pieces which you felt don't make any sense at all so far. So that's how the energy starts to kind of work. And at your own level, you can simply ask yourself these questions, especially if you are having a practice of meditation, if you are having a practice of journaling. You can ask yourself questions. How can I identify my inner voice? What is it that I can do to connect deeper with it? And you don't have to get the answer right away, but just putting it out there and knowing that you are ready. You know how they say that when the student is ready, the teacher emerges. Same way, when you are tuning into the space of wanting to connect, of wanting to find a safe and easy way to understand this and to thrive with it and to get powerful with it, and to lead the way that you have decided, that you have chosen for yourself, it shows up more and more in various ways: subtle signals, synchronicities, messages, guidance. It just pours over you. But It's not, there are no shortcuts to it. So I will share some tips with you. I will also do a meditative experience with you, but you need to then take it forward in your own way. Some of us may be comfortable by just bringing in a daily practice and honing this further. Some of us may need, some more, maybe classes, maybe workshops, maybe just a private session. But go with the flow. Keep questioning. What is it that I need to, and there's no harm in taking help. See what it is that helps you to tap in deeper and deeper into that space, and that will help you on it. Okay. Now, just delving more into the third eye. This is basically a focal point of, this external life energy, which we refer to as prana, which we refer to as chi, for it to kind of enter. So like our crown energy is always connected to source energy, and these two are our higher power centers, crown and third eye. And then this energy distributes into different chakras as well, which I'm not going to talk about right now because that is a full topic in its own. But of course, the energy is flowing, right? All the way from your root to your crown, So we are absorbing energy at each chakra level, and it's moving through different areas of our life, different. So when we are unable to interpret or listen to our inner voice or understand our intuition, what happens is that this guiding energy, which wants to communicate with us and we are unable to hear it, it starts to channel itself to communicate via the body. Okay. And so therefore, sometimes you can have what we understand as pain, discomfort in the body, disease, etc., etc. So it's all linked. It's not like you get any kind of illness or any kind of pain just out of nowhere because it's fun to give you pain. Nobody's giving you pain. It's about you unable to interpret that energy and act on it, and so it cannot be released through, and it goes and it lodges itself to talk to you through the body, through the organ, through the pain and things like that. So what can we do to, on a daily basis, for yourself to work on it, right? So I'm going to go through that. We have time. I'm going to go through those simple pointers, what you can do. First thing first, your breath is your way, your key, your magic formula to connect inwards. Okay, so breathing exercises, you start with a comfortable space, you definitely tune into your breath. You can use a whole lot of additional things if you choose to. It's not mandatory, but if you choose to, you can use an essential oil such as lavender, which really helps, because all these things, whether it's crystals, whether it's essential oils, they are all energetic frequencies. And when we are working with our energy body and we take help of these pure forms of frequencies which can assist us, our experience gets more and more rewarding for us. Okay, because as physical beings we need gratification. So we can include all of this. Having said that, it's not a mandatory thing. It's totally up to you how you go on this journey. So yeah, I was talking about the breath. We get into the breath and we take a few deep breaths, we connect, we notice our own breathing rhythm, because each one of us has a different breathing rhythm. We are sometimes not even aware what is our natural breathing rhythm, right? So just tap into it, spend some time, do a couple of breathing rounds, say do 7 breathing rounds of breathing deeply into the abdomen and exhaling out, and just sinking into that space. Once you've done that, your second step would be to focus on any tension in the body. Because, like I mentioned, tension in the body, stiffness in the body are indication that energy is trapped there and you have not picked up the signals in some ways perhaps. So focus on that tension with an intention to kind of release it. And then specifically take your awareness to the face area. Okay, so your mouth, your jaws, your eyes, ears, behind the ears, any kind of tension that you feel in this space, you release it out. Another great way to release the tension is to take your tongue and place it on the top palate of your mouth, and then do a couple of just breathe in and out and focus on the breath. It really helps to release the tension in the mouth and the jaws and this entire area which we want to primarily work with. Okay, then when you have done that, you take your awareness to your third eye chakra, which is in between your forehead. So literally think of it as a third eye, which is in between your forehead in this temple area, right next to the eyebrows. And think of it as an eye which is closed right now. Okay, and we are great at, when we say something, we can create a picture of it. So picture it like that, and picture it in a space where the energy is starting to work with it. One thing which I forgot, before you take your awareness here, make sure that you take your awareness to your feet and you ground yourself with Mother Earth. And how we'll do that, I will address it in the meditation, which I will take you through in just a few moments now. So take your awareness, like after you've done the releasing of the jaw, the mouth, the tension, you take your awareness to your feet so you can be grounded in the earth. Then you take your awareness back up to the third eye, right in the space, and you tune into the energy here. You just become aware of whatever it is that you are sensing, feeling, experiencing. If there are thoughts coming, now thoughts will start to come. When the thoughts are coming, don't try to suppress them, don't try to fight them, just allow them to come, because there is a reason these thoughts are coming up. And those who are regular meditators would know that very often the thoughts that come up when we are trying to focus on our breath, or when we are trying to focus on our inner world and healing, are very random. Okay, sometimes it could be about what I have to do right after, but sometimes it could be a childhood memory. Sometimes it could be an argument which happened 20 years back with a friend, and it's not even in my cognizance that why is this coming up? Or it could be a fleeting memory, image, experience. So don't push it aside. It's come, it has value. Okay, so bring that into your awareness that these thoughts are coming. And now that you have this awareness of the thoughts coming, we will chant the mantra Om. Okay, because sounds have vibrations. Now Om as a syllable relates to the sound, to the vibration of the third eye. Okay, so as you chant Om in various, the tonality makes a lot of difference, and there's no right or wrong in this on how it is. So the way I experience the vibration would perhaps be different from the way you would experience the vibration. So you need to chant Om to tap in and feel the vibration right in this space, in this area. Okay, and you will start to feel it. Okay, now once you start to feel the vibration in this area, just stay with it. Just kind of allow it to become more, because when you stay with it, it will expand. When you try to make too much sense of it at that moment, you will perhaps take your awareness away from it. So just stay with it and feel what's coming up for you in that space. Does it feel like a tingling? Does it feel like any sort of vibration? Do you feel tension? Do you feel pain? That is also possible. Sometimes pain can get released when you focus on it. So just tune in and see as you chant. And in your daily practice, I would say, if you are adding it, someone just asked me on the chat for daily practices. So that's exactly what I'm talking about right now, Pooja, is these daily practices. So then after you do the breath work and after you chant, you try and give it some sort of a shape or a color or a sensation, even if you are not feeling any vibration. It's Om. So someone asked, Kevin asked, is it Om or Om? Those are spellings. Many places you will find the spelling AUM. Technically, it is Om. What's important is the vibration, Kevin. It's where you feel it. Okay, so for me, it could be a certain tone. And then I start to feel it here. For you, it could be Om. So it really depends on where the energy is tuning in more at that point of time. And that's where you need to, that tonality is important. I can sit and say Om 30 times right now. And if I just say Om, 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 it's a beautiful vibration to put out, but the effect perhaps would take that much longer till I really connect and feel it and integrate it into my space. So that's how you take it. You hold it in the space and you kind of hear, and then you observe. Now that you're focusing on these vibrations, even if you have no vibration, especially those who are probably just getting into this journey and want to connect with their inner voice, don't be disheartened. Even if there is no vibration, no problem. Just focus on the space. Why? Because wherever your attention goes, the energy will flow. And even if you are new to it and it takes you time, eventually with consistency, with patience, you will be able to experience it. Okay, so even vibration takes time. It's not like and for some time, and sometimes, trust me, for people, even in the first go, you can feel a whole lot of vibration and sensation. So each one of us is unique. Don't compare your journey or your experience with absolutely anybody else. It's yours and only yours, and it can never be wrong. So whatever you're doing is fine. So the next step is, when you focus on it, now you start to observe what's coming up. Okay, what is it that you're seeing? What is it that you're feeling? Is there a color? Is there an image? Is there something in specific that's coming up for you? Ask your inner voice at this point to give you perspective on it. Okay, so it's like now it is you, the physical you, and you, the pure energy you, and you are having a conversation. Okay, sounds funny, but extremely powerful. Okay, how do you get to know another person? By conversing with them, by connecting with them, by asking them, by talking to them. So that's exactly what you will do right now. So now every day, little by little, you start communicating with your inner voice. Okay, you could give it a certain form in your mind, as a child, as a light, however it works for you. There's no right or wrong, like I mentioned, but the idea is to focus on that space, to begin to feel the vibrations, and then slowly communicating. And when I say communicating, it's not like the other person is going to give you an answer instantly, but you ask for signals, you ask for synchronicities, you let it know that you want to communicate with you. I'll share with you a personal example that I used to do when I started off. And this was, I had learned from one of my teachers that you ask for a sign in a certain, that you want to see something. So at that point, I was living in Dubai, and I was like, okay, let's play with it. And I wanted to challenge it. So I was like, okay, let's look for snow-peaked mountains. Now, those of you who have been to Dubai would know that in the Middle East, you are not going to find snow-peaked mountains, right? But I was like, okay, let's play with it. And it was so interesting that over a period of time, maybe a few hours, days, suddenly at the back of one of those vans, you would see the snow-peaked mountain with a certain ad. And then when you do that, it gets exciting. Then I used to play the parking lot challenge. And that used to be fun. I used to, before I would drive out to any very busy place, I would tell my inner voice, I want a parking right next to the gate. Okay. And I would talk with it, and it's so funny that you do feel the conversation happening. Okay. And I was like, I want the parking right there, that spot, I want it. And then I would park in, I would get there, and over a period of time, whether you believe it or not, it happens, I would get that parking. So many things you can make fun in your day-to-day life to kind of engage with that energy and just be tuned into it. So that when you truly need to be guided, you are ready to experience those subtle signs, those subtle signals much more easily. Okay, so that is something which you can do. So this is a particular format which works very well. Normally, I teach this to my clients when we have our workshops. So in that, of course, we work on it together, but given the time, we won't be working through this, but at least I've shared the steps with you, which you can do. If you would like to know more details about it or how to kind of make it more practical in your life, feel free right after the session today. You can book a consult if you like, and I can share with you how you can go on this particular journey. I would request admin if they can just put across the email ID on which we can book sessions. Yeah. So that's something which we can do. So those are just some simple steps to work on. Meditation is the key. Focusing on it does help. It really, really works for you. Why is this whole exercise so important for us in our daily lives, in our experiences? One, it helps us to think more clearly, so that brain fog, that chaos, it slowly starts to drift away. It becomes much and much easier for us to distinguish, like I said, between the voice of ego that keeps us in that clutter, in that separation, and it helps us to think more clearly beyond that race. Okay. It helps us to get a lot more inner and more deep vision about our life purpose, about our life experiences, good, bad, or ugly. Whatever it may be, you get a much more solid picture of why you have chosen what you have chosen in life. Okay, it helps you to develop your general imagination, so even during your meditations they become that much more colorful, more, more light, more beautiful. So you hear so many people talk about their meditations where they could envision everything. That helps with the energy of the third eye. At a more deeper level, life purpose level, it can help you to look beyond what can be seen. So you can really tune into energy, really know what's good for you, what are the right steps. You don't need someone else outside of you to give you that validation. That validation comes from within you. It helps you to expand your consciousness in a much more stronger, much more deeper way. It helps you to raise your vibrations, because when you're tuned into this very powerful healing energy from within, which only wants the best for you without anything that is negative, it will uplift your total vibration. It will uplift your thought patterns. And when this happens, we know that our experiences that unfold to us, that we co-create, that we manifest into our lives, of course, get a lot more better and happier and things like that. And in our spiritual journey, it develops a lot more spiritual awareness. It prepares us for the next level of our own journey, of our life purpose, of oneness, and so on and so forth. So let's just see how much time we have now. We have about 20 minutes left for us. A few more things that I can perhaps add right now would be, like I mentioned, about the crystals and the essential oils. So if anyone's interested in, or if anyone is already working with crystals, while you work with the third eye, you could use amethyst, which is a very beautiful purple colored, beautiful crystal. You can wear it, you can take it as a tumble stone, use it in your meditations every day. You can take essential oils, like pure essential oils, like lavender is my favorite. You can use juniper, you can use rosemary, sandalwood. These are again beautiful essential oils to use. You could also use, tiger's eye. So different crystals are available. I'm just sharing with you some which are, which I have worked with for myself, for my clients, and they worked really well. I'm going to have a quick look at the questions, guys, and then I'm going to move into the meditation. Fantastic. Someone in the group shared a very beautiful experience, but it was privately shared, but basically reiterating that fact that when you do tune into this energy and you do ask the universe for a sign, it shows up. Another great game is to play with numbers. Okay, so just telling your inner voice that should I do this or should I do that? And it could be as simple as, should I, this restaurant or that restaurant? You can tap into this energy for really, really simple questions to life-changing experiences. So the choice is yours, and there is no limitation on what you can ask, and there is no judgment on what you are asking. So absolutely anything you can ask, and whatever sign you ask for, Be willing to look in non-logical ways and it will come to you. So start playing that game, do this 5-step process that I've told you right now, and that would, kind of start you in a good space. So this gives us about another 15 minutes for the experience, the meditation. So let's go right into it. Okay, I'm going to start with, I'm going to share with you a mudra. Okay, so yeah, someone's asked a question, can intuition trick us? So that would be more from the space of, like I said, ego or an outside voice, Kevin, right? Not our inner voice. Our inner voice would not want to trick us. It would always give us what is, like I started right at the beginning of the session, what is real. So it will not trick us. It will always give us what is authentic, whether it feels right to the ego or not. And through the filter of the ego, we may feel that it's trying to trick us, if that makes sense. Yeah, but it will not trick us. It will always give us what's real. Okay, and it's up to our perception or filters how we interpret that. Can we sometimes get confused by coincidence? There are no coincidences. I learned this very early in my practice, and one of my favorite teachers repeated this over and over and over again. There are no coincidences. There is always alignment, there is synchronicity, but no coincidences. Okay, can I hold? So tourmaline is more to do with the root energy, but if you're comfortable with it, absolutely you can hold that stone. Someone asked me about a particular crystal if they can use in this meditation, which is a black tourmaline, I'm assuming. And tourmaline is good for more of our root chakra. So I think I've covered most of the questions here, guys. Feel free to post even after the meditation. I'm going to go right into it now so that we don't take time out of it. I'm happy to stay for a few minutes after, just so that if you have any questions and to answer that and to help you book, if you want to book any workshops or sessions or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to start with a mudra that I would ask you guys to do in your space, and just remember it, how it's done. So basically you take your hands, I hope it's coming clear. Are you able to see? You have to take it towards the lower part of your chest, where the breastbone is. And then your middle finger is touching together. Okay, and your is touching at the top, pointing forward. Other fingers are bent inwards. Your thumbs should be pointing towards you, and these other fingers go in like this. I think you are able to see it clearly. Okay, so all other fingers are turned in. The thumb will point towards your chest, and the middle fingers will point upward, and this is your mudra. And you start with this at your lower part of your chest and just close your eyes. Okay, so it will be like this for those who still need. Okay, middle finger is up, other fingers are down, and your thumb is pointing towards you. Just hold it there and just slowly close your eyes, and then some music which helps us with the third eye energy. Okay, we're all good. Now take your awareness to your breath. Just breathing in and breathing out. And with every breath, create a willingness to relax, to release, to let go, to purify. If there are any kind of thoughts that you have in your mind that's bothering you or are troublesome, just go ahead and release as you exhale. And whenever you feel tired with the mudra, feel free to drop your hands to your sides or to your lap, depending if you're sitting straight or you're lying down. Preferably for the third eye, we should sit up straight with our back and our spine nice and straight. However, if you have any physical pains or discomfort, feel free to lie down. So just tuning in, breathing in and out, noticing the rhythm of the body, of the breath. And then slowly taking our awareness down to the soles of the feet. Whenever we work with the higher chakras, we must always ensure that our lower chakra, our grounding chakra, keeps us rooted and is flowing well. So we will just take our awareness to the root chakra and then slowly our awareness to the soles of our feet and just connect with the energy of the surface beneath the feet, of the floor. And as you hold your awareness there, if you can, observe or notice any vibrations, sensations that you may experience. And allow the energy from the earth to connect you. So you can be deeply connected to the center, to the core of Mother Earth, where you can receive pure, positive, grounding energies that are a beautiful foundation for you to rise high, to flow freely, and connect with your higher energies. So just feeling that energy from Mother Earth flowing in through your feet, through your legs, and entering your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine. And if you can, try to visualize the color red in your root chakra, beginning to flow, beginning to expand. And just trusting that this energy center will keep you rooted, grounded, safe, and secure. Allow the energy to keep flowing, and with your intention, allowing it to move through your energy body till all your chakras are aligned and balanced. The simple intention releases any resistance and the energy flows with ease. And now slowly taking away from that, move your awareness to your third eye in the center of your forehead. Your entire awareness in this space right now. Notice a very, very beautiful dot of sparkle or light. You can imagine this, you can visualize it. You can feel it, sense it. And if none of the above happen, you can simply be aware that there is this tiny dot of light. And today, with your willingness, your intention, you choose to connect, to experience, and to receive the wisdom, the love, the guidance, the inspiration from this powerful light. Now, as you hold your awareness on the light, you may experience the light becoming bigger and perhaps even lighter. If you can experience it, stay with it If you cannot experience it, that's absolutely fine. Just keep your awareness in that physical spot and know that there is a beautiful light shining. Now, as you keep focusing on it and the light begins to expand, it starts to flow upward, getting lighter and lighter through the portal of your crown chakra at the top of your head. And so just tune into this very beautiful energy, and you can visualize it in beautiful colors like indigo, violet. And just allow this energy now, this light, to move up through the crown. So today we will reconnect with the source energy so we can cleanse those filters, those resistances, those obstacles that come in the way of your experiencing your intuition deeply from within. So just feel this light now through this energy of the crown, moving up, leaving the body, going further up through the skies, all the way up till you see the earth below as a speck, the stars, the galaxies, the moon and sun, just leaving it all behind in this beautiful journey to connect, to reconnect to that source energy. And just allowing it, giving it a few more moments. And even if you cannot visualize, imagine, or feel it, just know that you have the ability to connect through the power of your mind. And then as you cross all these layers, these different dimensions, you are in this pure space where you will notice this beautiful, beautiful, radiating golden light. And this golden light is pure source energy. This is the light from which every being comes down to experience life in a certain way. So just take yourself into that space and just allow yourself to be showered, cleansed, purified by those vibrations. So just find yourself in the presence of this golden light and feel that light streaming through you. Now in this space, if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, if you have even complaints, take a few moments and just offload those burdens, those questions, and ask your source to prepare you by releasing what comes in the way of receiving the wisdom, the guidance, when you are still in the physical body as well. So just releasing it, offloading that baggage, offloading it completely, soaking in that light. Do ask for the signals, the messages, the guidance. in words, in subtle forms, in your dream. And with that, express your gratitude, your appreciation, knowing that you can come back to this space at all times. And so just soaking in that light, expressing your gratitude. Allow yourself to start drifting away from that space, moving away from the light, but always being surrounded by that light. And coming further and further down through the layers, the different dimensions, back onto earth, back into where you are, the room, and allowing that energy to move in through your crown, back into your physical body. This new cleansed energy now floods your entire third eye, the pineal gland, bringing in a new rhythm, bringing in more life force. And allow this light then to move into your throat. So every choice you make now, every expression is now in connection with this powerful, healing, guiding light. And your third eye supporting you. And allow the light to move into your heart, where it expands your heart even more. So that a deep connection between your heart energy with every feeling, sensation that you feel every time your inner voice is choosing to connect with you, you will get that sensation, you will get that emotion. And then allow that light to move further down into your solar plexus, where it can cleanse those filters of self-awareness for your highest best. And it melts those labels, those judgments, those criticisms that come in the way of connecting with this high, beautiful energy. And then allowing this light to move down to the sacral, having full faith in being present, in being guided in the present. So there is no past that you're holding on to that comes in the way, and there is no worry for the future, as this beautiful light in the present allows you to flow with the flow of life. Just feel that vibration, that wisdom, that energy flow through your sacral, cleansing it, healing it. And the light moves in back to the root chakra, where the powerful energies of this dimension of the earth merge with these beautiful light energies, bringing in you that perfect harmony, that perfect balance for that spiritual being within you to live this physical journey with complete ease, to keep moving forward, releasing patterns, receiving learnings, and evolving. And then slowly this light begins to move through the organs, the cells, the tissues, your entire physical being. It spreads through the skin, nails, hair, your entire outer body. And slowly moves into your auric field, where it further cleanses, repairs your auric field, and lifts the vibration. So you're influencing your environment, and everything that comes to you from the environment is only pure, positive, high vibrating energy. And so allow that experience, that ball of light, to get more and more healed, protected. And this is your shield. Anytime you feel in conflict or doubt, you can always connect to this ball of light. Feel that safety, security, and tune into your inner voice with complete ease. Slowly seal the edges of this ball. Now bring your awareness back to the breath, back to the body. Just rub both your palms. Place one palm on your third eye and one on your heart, and just feel the vibrations. And then slowly and gently open your eyes into the now, bringing the trust, the stillness, and the peace from within to your world outside. And then you can just move your fingers and toes a little bit, take a sip of water if you like. Yes. So that was an interesting, very powerful experience. Seems simple, but you can do this going forward. Do the first set of exercises that I did share with you, and then you can meditate on this. If you are chanting, make sure that when you chant Om, you do chant it like at least 7 times or 21 times, and regulate that practice for a minimum of 21 days. So if you do it regularly for 21 days, you will notice it becomes more and more easier for you to connect at a deeper level. So yes, guys, that's all that we have for today from this webinar. I hope you received some of the answers that you were looking for. Thank you so much, Kevin. I'm glad you enjoyed the meditation. Why 21 days? Because many reasons, but the most important one for this process right now is that 21 days is how much time it takes for a new pathway to be created, even in the mind. So habits are formed that way, neural patterns are formed that way. So when you do it for 21 days regularly, it becomes a habit and it becomes more and more natural to your way of doing things. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti. Thank you, Neetu. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you so much. And I'm glad you all could join today, and I'm glad you all enjoyed. I look forward to seeing you for our next session. We will email you with the details of the next webinar, and I will share with you the email. In fact, I'll put it in the chat right now. Give me a minute. It is, yeah, you can use, I'm just putting it here to everybody. If anyone wants to book a session or a free consult, you can, oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Give me 1 minute. Wellness at world.com. Yeah, it's wellness at illuminationsworld.com. So you can email us on this. Thank you, Aditi. I'm so glad you liked it. Study someone in intuitive mind. Same. No need to. They're not the same. Not the same. Okay, that's all that we have. Thank you so much for coming in today, and thank you for your kind words. And I look forward to seeing you all again in our webinars or for our sessions or whatever it is that you are needing in this moment in time. Feel free to reach out. Right? Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, thank you so much, admin, for putting the link as well. So we have a link as well, guys, if you would like to just kind of click on that and you can book the consults as well. Right.